A new HR manager pisses off hardworking employees. Mass malicious compliance. Years ago, I worked for an awesome company that understood workplace culture, and fun was a huge part in keeping employees happy and productive. In our office, people would often cycle to work and therefore needed to shower and get ready at work. That meant that sometimes they didn't get to their desk until after 9 a.m. However, nearly everyone worked back without being asked to deliver on deadlines. Management didn't care because they knew the work was being done and everyone always went over and above. And a new HR manager, we had never really had one before, but we're growing, so needed one. Within her first few weeks, she sent out an email saying that everyone needed to be seated and ready to go at 9 a.m. and that we needed to stop having social chats and getting ready at work, or if we did, do it earlier. She never acknowledged the fact that everyone put in unpaid overtime. Cue mass malicious compliance. Everyone would start at 9 a.m. as per email, then leave at 5 p.m. Projects started running behind and clients started getting pissed off because their product was not being delivered on time. New HR manager was confused as to why work was not being delivered on time anymore. People were starting on time. She made sure of it. Needless to say, upper management removed the rule and she quit shortly after. We all went back to our normal ways, and would you know it, projects were back on track. Don't walk into a new company and try to change something that isn't broken. The people will revolt. Edit. This was my first post and I didn't think anyone would see it. I want to clarify that OT was never expected or forced upon us, but due to awesome management, cool projects, and great perks, we didn't mind when we did do it. Edit. I see a lot of people confused about why HR would be involved with such matters. In smaller companies in Australia, HR oversees a lot more than the usual. It depends on the company, really, and this company was approx 50 people.
Force me to take my vacation time when I don't want to, and tell me to secure my station by freshening up my passwords before I go, okay, boss? To start with, my boss had his moments. Sometimes he was a dick who would push off me on my razors or screw with my system. Sometimes he would hook me up and make my life pleasant. This was not one of the latter. So I had plans for vacation, but my boss decided I had to take my vacation time in June instead of August, because he wanted to take his vacation in August and no other time would work. I lost some money as a result, but that's my fault for planning ahead, I guess. Well, I'll start by saying my position was vital, and being gone for 2 weeks, with nobody able to access my terminal, was not ideal for the business. After forcing me to take my vacation early and losing a chunk of my deposits, he told me to change my passwords before I go for security reasons. Well, that is exactly what I did. I didn't leave notes. It's a security system. I don't leave passwords laying around. I didn't leave anything for his part-timers to work with. I did precisely as he demanded, and when I go on vacation, my work phone does not ever get turned on. I straight up left it at home. I told him on the way out the day before that if he has questions, ask him there. He said, I know what I'm doing. Apparently, while I was gone 2 weeks, his part-time techs ruined the server system, destroyed my work terminal, managed to screw up and lose several clients, got my account hard-locked, was easy to fix, and all around cost my boss about $100K in damages, profits lost. Most of these part-time techs were fired for the amount of property damages they did. For the life of me, I can't figure out how they ruined so much tech while I wasn't around. I still don't know how he runs a business, but he stopped giving stupid requests like that. Quick edit. He also had another master admin account I set up for him, but he lost the information I made for him on a handy little laminated wallet card, so... Edit to Electric Boogaloo. Yes, the boss still left for his vacation. He did not admit he made a mistake, and things were not fully repaired or fixed when he went on vacation. Also, I booked my vacation with him, and had made my reservations in December. He knew for months.
You can't be late anymore. You are to work only your set schedule. Okay, you're the boss. So after I graduated college, I went back to work at my high school job at a large auto parts chain. I have a few stories of malicious compliance from there, because it was a miserable place to work with miserable management, but I think this one takes the cake. I lived about 15 minutes from the store and would routinely work 1 to 2 hours past my shift to help the manager close up and tally cash sale receipts. We were mainly wholesale, so the cash receipts were a small portion of the sales and had to be tallied by hand, as well as take out the trash, prep and stage the first deliveries for the next morning, as well as sweep the storefront. I didn't mind doing these things because I got a little OT out of it, got in the good graces of the manager, or so I thought. And being that even though my drive home was short, staying a little late and letting traffic die down was fine with me. One morning I walked in at about 9:07, when my shift was scheduled to start at 9 a.m. I didn't see what the big issue was, since I had been staying late every day for months helping him close the store. But he apparently took issue with it that day, which would have been fine if he had said something along the lines of, "Hey, liability Landon, you're late and I know you worked long yesterday, but let's still get here on time." But that isn't what he said. He flew off the handle and went on about needing to work my schedule. And we have schedules for a reason, and you just need to be at work for the schedule that I made you. Well, needless to say, since I had been staying late for months to help him close the store, it's against policy to not have to plus people in the store at a time. Despite it not being on my schedule, this rubbed me the wrong way. So I convinced myself that instead of causing a scene and yelling, I would just do exactly what he said. So 30 rolls around. We closed at 6. And I stood in front of the computer until it hit 5:30 exactly, clocked out, and started walking towards the door. "Manager, where are you going?" "I'm home." "Manager, what? Why, who's going to help me close the store tonight?" "Me? I don't know, but you made it very clear I was to work my schedule. So I get off at 5:30. It's now 5:30, and I'm going home." And I walked out. The next morning I got there at 8:55 and just stood in front of the computer until it hit 9 o'clock. Phone's ringing. "Too bad, my shift hasn't started. Deliveries need to go out. Sorry, I'm not on the clock yet." I clocked in at 9 o'clock and then clocked out at 5:30. Same conversation as the day before about who was going to help him close. The third morning I walk in, and he waits for me to clock in, then pulls me aside to talk to me. "Manager, no, I think we can overlook a few minutes in the morning if you stay and help me close." "Oh, interesting. I thought I was supposed to just work my schedule." "Manager, yeah, well, I guess we can overlook that." I had very few problems with this manager after that little exchange. If you all want more stories from the insane, tiny, tyrant-filled auto parts world, just let me know. Plenty more where that came from. Edit, wow. My first silver thanks Redditors. Had no idea this thing would blow up like it did. Guess I better get to writing down these old stories. Edit again. I'm dumbfounded as to how this took off. Thanks for reading. I really thought this was a pretty run-of-the-mill post for this sub, but y'all apparently thought it wasn't, and spread the love. Thanks. Third edit, 15K. Are y'all serious? Crazy? I would, however, like to clarify that this was by no means my finest moment in terms of being a well-adjusted adult. Was I in fact late? Yes. Was my response petty? Yes. Would I handle it the same way now over a decade later? Hopefully, and most likely not. But that isn't the name of the game in this sub, because this is malicious compliance, not I did the right thing.
My boss scared off rude customers by literally taking a closer look. I used to work at a store run by a woman named Irene. She would buy vintage and high-end items, repair them, and then sell them in the store. We didn't have multiple sizes of things, and the only bulk items we bought were little trinkets and soaps, sometimes jewelry. One day, when Irene had gone out to get more supplies, the dickless couple walked in. The wife, who looked like vegan cat vomit rolled in crystals and hemp, was on the wrong foot the moment she opened her mouth. Dirkina seemed to think we were her slaves, that she was queen of the world, and everything had to be in her size. Her husband Vernon would grunt and repeat what she said in a more nasally aggressive voice. It was the longest 2 hours of my life. We had everything organized by size and did not have extras in the bag. After explaining that to Jerkina for the 100th time, I was about to throw a purse at her head. "This is not my size. Why don't you have my size?" I told her to maybe look at a larger size rack, because obviously she was not a 2. She was a 6. No, I am a 2. I have always been a 2. I was a 2 when I had my kids. I am a 2 now. Vernon repeated the same thing. No, she is a 2, a 2, 2. Irene came in while the happy couple was shopping and asked what the problem was to me. Because I had that look, I explained the woman was being picky. Eventually the woman stormed up again with a pair of pants, demanding I read her the size. I told her the size, a 6, and she said, "I am a 2, not a 6. Why do I fit into these?" Irene ended up speaking with her. "Those are a 6. If you fit into them, then you are not a 2. Turkina got silent, turned to her husband, and waved the pants around. Vernon said, "Now, listen here. I don't like the way you guys have been helping my wife. She asks questions and gets attitude. You should use your eyes and actually look at the tag and see if there is a problem. She wants to know the size. Tell her the size." Irene agrees. "I will take a closer look." She puts the pants on the counter, pops out her glass eye, and holds it close to the tag. Still a 6. I start laughing so hard I have to sit down. The couple sputtered, waved their hands around like blind birds, and storm out. They left a huge mess I had to help clean up, but only after I spent 20 minutes laughing about it with Irene and the other cashier, Helen. Irene gave me money to get us all coffee. We closed early and cleaned up the store. Irene was the best boss I ever had. I was sad when I had to move for college.
You can suggest new voices in the comments.